Hey, you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I'm Lisa, and I'm doing a reading for the full harvest moon, which is coming up. And yeah, I pre-pulled some cards, but I'm pulling 5 from the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot to get some overall energies for the reading. It looks to be a pretty climactic one so far. So, okay, so at the bottom, we got the Fool. So, you know, this is just kind of taking a leap of faith into the unknown, and it's kind of like a brand new beginning that's happening. So, I mean, the harvest moon, you know, I mean, it's kind of like harvest season, obviously, and so, you know, it's like things are kind of coming to fruition, and yeah, like we're stepping into a new era. But we got the Knight of Wands, 5 of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, and we got the Lovers. So kind of how I'm taking this is like, you know, we're taking a leap of faith into the unknown, and this is like, this can be a player energy, but how I'm taking it in this reading is just sort of like a bold move forward, you know, like this is a passionate, bold move forward. Like we're taking this leap of faith, and we're like all in. We're just going. We're just going for it into the new era, you know, and it's like we might be leaving behind some like tragic, sad situations, you know, like there's going to be winners and losers in this situation, and it's just like whatever was the foundation for things before, like, will no longer be. Like, it's definitely this new era. Like, you can't go back to the past, like it's gone, you know. And but we have this Queen of Pentacles, which is this loving, nurturing, abundant queen who's just kind of like, she's kind of like rock solid, like get her done. And she's like finally starting to move forward, you know, like maybe she's been kind of held back, you know, but like she's moving forward into this new future. And, you know, this is like a built to last, like moving forward. It's not like a rash thing. Like it's like solid, you know. And then we have the Lovers. So this could be going forward into like a new relationship, or you know, a deep soulmate connection that might be coming online. But also, like, I'm kind of taking it as like this moment of integration and of like profound healing. You know, like sometimes we have these like wounds that like we carry around in life and like distort our perception of reality, and so we keep attracting these situations over and over again until like at some point we're able to like face whatever that is, see it for what it is, and then it no longer distorts our vision, and so we can see clearly, and we'll just attract a totally different experience in life. So I'm kind of getting that from this configuration. But, you know, we're going to go to the other decks that I pulled, and we're going to keep going. So I'm going to go to the Urban Tarot, which I take this, it's like based on using New York City as a muse. So it's like a pretty on the ground reality, you know. But at the bottom we got the 8 of Wands. So in this deck, swiftness. But this is like, you know, swift change, or like a message that's coming in that kind of changes everything, you know. And we got, again, the Fool. So again, like, this message is coming in, and like, it's like a game changer. Like, whatever this message is, like, it kind of just changes the playing field. Like, after that, like, you can't go back to the past. And then this tumbled out upside down, and I'm, you know, like, I don't even keep cards upside down, so it's significant when one does, but it's the High Priestess upside down. And so I'm kind of taking it as this, like, you know, the High Priestess, like, sort of like manifests through like almost like in action. Like, she's like the feminine force, you know. So she's like not taking direct action. She's like manifesting, you know, but like she's upside down. So how I'm taking it is like now, like, things have changed, and it's like time to move forward. Like, it's time to take this bold move forward. Like, this is not a moment for rest. Like, this is a moment to just like take the bull by the horns and just like step forward, you know. And it's interesting because this is followed by the Prince of Wands, which is the journalist. So I kind of take that as like, it's sort of like the news is out, you know, like whatever this change is, like, it's out there. Like, everybody knows about it. It's like blaring on every TV screen. It's every paper. Like, everyone knows about it. Like, you can't go back. Like, this is big news, you know. And then we have the Princess of Discs, the kindergarten teacher. So this speaks to like this tangible, you know, beginning stages of something, you know. And like, this kindergarten teacher, she kind of like stewards these kids, you know, through the very beginning stages of life. And like, you know, things are really nascent. So it's like early, you know, in development, but it's like an important stage, you know. And we've got the Ace of Cups. It's this big cup of love, you know. Like, don't fear, because like, things are good. Like, this is a good thing. And then we have the Queen of Cups, the therapist. So it's interesting because it's like, I have all these different decks, but like, there's kind of a similar message that's coming through with all of them. And like, this is a therapist, you know. So like, the Queen of Cups, like, we've healed this wound, and like, this is allowing this like profound integration and transformation moment that's kind of like a huge, profound turning point in life. So it's like, okay, so then when I go to the mystical shaman and I get like a more spiritual bent, at the bottom we got the Tree of Life. So this speaks to kind of like, you know, like all the chakras sort of like being in balance, and just talking about the importance of that. Like, when you do have a distortion in your perception, like, you're not in balance, you know. But the Tree of Life is like this inspiration for this balance, you know, because it's like when you're totally grounded, but you're not reaching for the stars, and you're not dreaming, and you're not inspired, like, you can really get like caught up in the drudgery of life, and it can be kind of depressing, you know. Whereas like, when you're just totally dreaming and reaching for the stars, but not grounded in the earth, not really like living in like on the ground reality, you can just like really get blown around, you know. So like, this is kind of speaking to this again, like this integration, like where things are being brought in balance, and whatever this distortion is, like, it's getting cleaned up, you know. And it's interesting because, you know, like I said, this is a full moon, full harvest mood, but we got the blade, and you see like right at the center of the blade, there's this full moon. Like there's this moment, you know, this moment of truth that's happening. And it's like we're kind of like cutting the cord on something that's like holding us back. And this is like this liberation. Like it reminds me of this reading like that I did recently about liberating us girls from male white corporate oppression. But it's just like something that's been holding you back, like cutting the cord on some sort of toxic relationship or some distortion. And like you're finally seeing the light, like, oh my gosh, like this thing has been holding me back forever and I haven't seen it, but now I see it and now I'm like free, you know? And again, like this is like followed by the sun, you know, so the sun is a card about like standing up and like being in the moment, you know, and receiving the light of the sun, you know, like sometimes like if you're like traumatized or like have something that needs to be healed, like you can like draw away from the world and like kind of close yourself off to that, to like receiving like to the abundance and the light, you know. But this is not, it's not happening. Like whatever's been blocking you from like from getting that, like it's the light is being shown because we have thunder, and this is sort of like again like a moment of truth where there's this huge clap of thunder and like it's like everything changes, you know, like whatever this cycle is that you've been carrying around or whatever distortion or whatever wound it is from the past that's like causing you to not see things right, like it's like you're taking your power back, and in doing so like you're just there's a shakedown in your circumstance, like in your present and then in your future moving forward, and like how you are inhabiting the world is like just suddenly going to change. Like you're just suddenly going to get it, like, oh, I get it now, you know. And then that's leading to this fresh start, like this new beginning. Like the child sees things from like a totally unbiased, fresh perspective, you know, like, and it's like a redemption. It's like a second chance, like a new start, a new lease on life. So this is like really a beautiful reading. And then, so when I went to the animal spirit, interestingly, I got the peacock, the cheetah, and the buffalo. So this is an interesting configuration of spirit animals because the peacock is like, I mean, this is totally beautiful creature, you know, and everyone's just like, wow, you know. But the beauty of the peacock really comes from within, and like ironically, like having healed all of the peacock's wounds, you know, so that like the peacock is able to like assimilate like any experience in life, you know, like maybe like all this crazy stuff has happened to the peacock, but yet the peacock isn't holding on to like resentment or anger or bitterness. Like it just like has all the grace and all the wisdom of all those experiences without any of those negative things. And so like has this just light, and people are inspired by that, you know. And then we have the cheetah, and again, like it's like the opposite of this high priestess. Like this is a moment of action and a moment of like empowerment, and like, you know, your light just like going out into the world in its full glory and magnitude. And then we have the buffalo, which the buffalo is just this beautiful mix, you know, because it's like this totally earthly creature that's like not afraid of like working hard and like the slog, you know, but yet like the buffalo also is super spiritual at the same time. So it's just sort of like the buffalo can like walk through any circumstance and it doesn't have like fear about what lies ahead, because the buffalo, you know, the buffalo's got grit. Like the buffalo can weather anything, you know, but yet again, like the peacock, it's like there's this magnificent like spiritual connection, and like it's interesting that like there's this lightning in the background. When I picked that up too, I got this, the golden egg, which is crazy because that was in this other reading that I did that I didn't record. But anyways, this is like a really beautiful full harvest moon reading of like karma and redemption and like healing the past and opening up the world for yourself in a totally different experience. So I'm gonna go with the Queen of the Moon Oracle because it is a full moon, and I'll pick a final. Well, you know, we'll see. It might be more than one card, but I'll pick some cards. But yeah, happy Harvest Moon. It looks like it's gonna be a good one, like a good day and whatnot. Okay. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna pick maybe one or two more. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. So we got creation. So yeah, like there's this whole new world that's being brought into existence. We have darkness. So it's kind of like this void, you know, like there's a whole thread called The Void, and it's all about just sort of like this emptiness that happens right before this totally new beginning. Like it's always darkest before the dawn. And then we have boundaries. So again, like there's some distortion or some thing that you've been accepting that you might need to have boundaries around, you know, in the future in order to bring things into balance, you know, like something is going to have to be confronted, but it's paving the way for this beautiful new beginning. So sounds pretty good. I'll check back soon. Hope you have a beautiful full moon.